This video is sponsored by Newport Propane. If you'd like to learn more about Newport Propane, you can visit us at our website or at our Facebook page linked in the description below. Hey there everybody, Alex Gomes here to do another race recap for this season, this time for my race that happened out at X1 Outdoors. Now, if you remember my last race recap, there wasn't really that much racing to talk about. Mostly, it was just me running by myself. However, this race weekend that I had was far from that situation. It was full of really, really good racing, and I got a lot of good footage of it, and I'm excited to show it to you. So the day started out pretty good. I was fast in practice, so it felt, and I ended up qualifying first, which is always where you want to be, so no complaints there. It was all the usual suspects that come to the track. There was one new guy, though, this guy named Brian, and I've never raced with him before, never seen him there before. And he seemed to be pretty quick, and he gave me his time during qualifying, and it was, it was a decent pace away from my time. It was within a second, but I was like, cool. Bringing more people out to the track that might actually have speed and actually be fast. This is awesome. I welcome more competition. So going into the first race, the pre-final, it was me starting on the pole, then we had Jay in second, and we had new guy Brian in third. And initially I got a very good start, and I just basically walked away with it this time. It was the same thing, almost the same thing that happened to me in New York. I just took the lead early, and I was able to just walk away, and that was basically the whole race. But I noticed Jay and Brian having a really, really good fight for second behind me. And there was probably a point where I was like 4 or 5 seconds ahead, something like that. But I could see the two of them. They would either be, when I would come around a corner, looking through my peripheral vision, I could see Jay entering the corner first. Okay. And then the next lap, I would see Brian entering the corner first. So they were swapping it out pretty good. And when the race was over, I think I won by about 5 seconds. And I was like, this is great. I love having speed. I mean, who doesn't? Everybody loves to be the fastest guy out there. So not only am I the fastest guy out there, I'm also, leading the pack. I'm winning the races, so doing good so far. Funny thing about going out for the second race is that now Brian was starting second, and while we're gridding up, Brian tells me that he's like, oh, I pulled a 110 dead in the last race, and I was thinking to myself, I did a 110.3. And of course, we all get the sheets, so we see each other's fastest laps. And he's like, I think I got something for you this run. And I was like, yeah, you might. If you're 3/10 faster than me in that last race, absolutely. Especially when I was running by myself in clean air with nobody to distract me. And he was running in second place, pulling a faster lap. So going into that last race, I was like, oh no. I might actually have some competition for myself. And boy, was I right. I led the first few moments of the race, but then a couple laps in, he was able to get around me and take the lead. And I was thinking, okay, all right, I'll see if I can, come back at you, see if I have something for you. And I usually will pull my fastest laps when I'm following somebody. I don't think it has anything to do with drafting or anything like that. I think it's just when I have a target to fix on and I have an objective right in front of me to try to overtake, I tend to pull faster laps than if I'm just running by myself without some kind of motivation in front of me. He led the race for about 2 laps or so, and I was able to take it back. And then the rest of the race, man, he was just on me. And I made a few mistakes here and there trying to keep the lead on my, trying to stay in front. But he pressured me the whole time. We crossed the line for 1 lap to go. And going into the hairpin, he somehow gets along my right side, even though that's a right-hand full blast corner before we get to the hairpin. And he got beside me on the outside. We go into the corner, nose to nose like this. And he just walks around the outside and just takes the corner on the exit. Like, we're falling back in line by the time we get to corner exit. And I was just like, what? I couldn't believe it. The kid, he pulled a great move on me. I was a little pissed at the time because I don't want to lose a lead, but I was just like, son of a, holy hell. It was a super impressive move. So we had, now we have 3/4 of a lap to go, and I'm thinking, well, I better make the straightaway count because I think it's the only place I'm going to be able to get him. And we get to the straightaway, and sure enough, I'm inching, but it was never enough. And we come to the checkered flag, and we were probably within a second. I would say half a second of each other crossing the line. Him first, me second. And I want to win, sure, but the racing was such a good time. That kid was so good, and I'm glad to see somebody new coming to the club that is not only fast, because you can be fast, you can be plenty talented, and you can pull off great laps, and that's fine. But he's also a great racer. There was nothing dirty, nothing bad about any of the racing he did with me, and he was smart. You know, he knew how to keep a cart width when it needed to be that way, and he knew the appropriate time to step out in line to try a pass, or maybe get back in line and try again another time. It was great, really great, and I'm looking forward to the next time I get on track with this guy to see. Well, now I gotta beat him. You know, first time we race, now he beats me. I gotta. The record is 0-1 him. You know, so I want to make sure maybe I can even that out a bit. But anyway, that's my summary of the very, very entertaining race that I had at X1 Outdoors. I'm looking forward to the next one. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one.